Hi, and welcome to the update on my shed. So quite a bit being done. I do really wish I'd done a before photo actually, because when I started this just about a week ago, you couldn't actually get in the shed door. Basically, you opened the door and it was just full. So it's been pretty full on for nearly a week, but it's pretty much done now. So I'm going to natter a little bit about what I've done in here and some thoughts about using sheds for model railways and a bit about my layouts and plans for here. So worth sticking with me. So this was the main thing, which I think I'd pretty much done in the last video. So that's a big board, big bench that's going to be, it's about 10 foot by 2.5 foot. 1.63 meters by, I think it's 43 centimeters or something like that. A bit more than that, 63 centimeters, I think. It is massively over-engineered, but that's because that's the timber that I had free. I got that off somebody that was an old shed base. So effectively, this entire shed has been insulated and reclad, and it hasn't cost me anything apart from 30 quid for a roll of foil, because all the materials came from our conservatory floor. The conservatory is being demolished for a new build. So all the laminate was the laminate floor. The polystyrene in the walls was the polystyrene under the floor. And although you can't see it now, big thick chipboard to do the floor and that wall. So it's all been insulated with foil and polystyrene and then lined one way or another. I discovered though that didn't stop condensation where we've had the cold weather. So I have been using a dehumidifier initially, and then down there I've got a little electric heater with a frost setting, and that seems to just keep it at bay. It's worth a consideration when you're thinking about sheds. They need lining, they need insulating, and you're still going to get condensation. So you are going to need a heat source or a dehumidifier, unless anybody knows any different, but that's certainly my experience. As the great Cyril Freezer said, it's not the tops of sheds. People think the roofs will leak. It's the floors, and certainly the floor on this one is not good. This was built 20 odd years ago. The bearers aren't high enough, so it is a bit damp underneath. But I've laid a new solid floor, and that's hopefully going to keep us going for a few more years. Watch the first video if you want the rationale of why I redid this one and didn't buy a new one. So there we go. It's going to be a nice new home. I've got a bit of lino down. And I was able to get my dad's old desk in. So this has been in the study for quite a few years, because the conservatory's going, and that fits in there just nice. I just cut the top down a bit, and that's going to make actually a really nice workstation in there. I've put an edge on it, and I can get my storage drawers in there. At the moment, I've got a layout stored there. So this was the one that was designed to fit in my motorcycle top box. That bike's gone. But it does give me a really nice little layout, so I've permanently joined it together, and I'm going to finish that off as a little UK layout, because I have acquired a Graham Farish Class 14 diesel for a reasonable 50 quid that runs smoothly over points. It's only taken me about 2 years to do that, so I have got a nice UK loco. So I'll not pan too quickly because I know people don't like me doing it. So then here I've got my layout storage. So this is the Japanese layout that's going to be exhibited at Sompting, and also now Pevensey. There's a Pevensey show in July, and I've been invited to take both of these layouts. That one is the oval N-gauge from a long while ago, a couple of years ago, which there's videos on. This only just fits. It's a bit of a wriggle. If it had been an inch longer, or the desk had been half an inch longer, it wouldn't have fitted, but it does fit. And then there's my old HO layout there. And while we're talking about layouts, I've then got my two micro oval N-gauge layouts on there for the moment. And then the Japanese one will still fit in front if I want to take it out to run. That, by the way, is still one of the best little layouts I've designed. I've been having great fun with that. Got a bit of artwork on the walls. I am rambling on today, but those are some articles which my dad wrote, little letters about converting daypole buildings, or airfix as they were then, in 1962. And I did smile a few years ago when one of the model railway magazines had somebody converting the church into a station, and my dad had done that in 1962. My dad stopped doing railways in about 1964-65. He then went on to all military modelling, tanks, military figures, ornithology, watercolour painting. Spoke to my mum before she passed away, and that's what my dad did. He went from one hobby to another. That's really where my intention of one day maybe having a model railway came from, because I remember it from when I was 4 or 5. And then when Doug was 9 and wanted a model railway, all this started off. So those are existing layouts. So what are we going to do with new layouts? Well, this is going to be an N gauge. So I gave you the dimensions earlier, so that's going to be a big N gauge layout. And I've got a nice amount of really good Japanese locos rolling stock. And of course, I can get ultra reliable Kato track. So it seems pointless to do anything other than a Japanese layout there, which will all be very reliable. And I'll probably do it 2 level, double track on the lower level and a little small oval down the end for the pocket line stuff. But that's very much a long-term project. This side going to be a little bit controversial, probably, but that is going to be, at the moment, probably O gauge. And it's going to be old Lima O gauge. I had, if I'm honest, a little rant here. I had my nose put out of joint a bit. I was in an exhibition recently, and I got talking to some really pucker O gauge guys, and a bit of hard work talking to them. But I was trying to express an interest in O gauge, and I happened to mention that I was going to start, and that I was going to tinker by starting with the old Lima O gauge, and I wasn't impressed with their reaction, if I'm honest. Now, even the Pico manual on O gauge says that the old Lima stuff is a great way of dipping your toe into O gauge. And I've got some Lima track and one of the funny old diesels and the wagons, which didn't cost me very much money. And frankly, I was so... I'm a bit of a strange character. If somebody puts my nose out of joint, it makes me think even more, right, I'm going to do that. So I thought, right, if you're going to be snobbish about Lima O gauge, I'm going to make a Lima O gauge layout, just to show it can be done and upset a few rivet counters. So it's only going to be a very simple tuning fork shunting plank on there, and then they'll actually run down a bit of a fiddle yard in front of my desk, so that when I'm working, and that's the plan at the moment. I could put 00 on there, but equally 00 is small enough that I could make a freestanding layout. So for instance, I could fit quite a nice 00 shunting layout on a board under there, which could then come out and go up there. And actually, now I'm sitting talking to you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'll build O gauge there, store my 2N gauge, and then have a 00 shunting layout stored underneath, which I can pull out and put on one of the benches to run. I think that'll be a good option. So there we go, quite a lot going on. This is going to be really something as a space. It should now be nice and cosy in the winter. It doesn't get very hot in the summer, because there's a great big summer house through there, which shuts out most of the light. It doesn't get a great deal of light in here, so I don't have too many problems with fading or heat in the summer. And actually just opening the door, it cools down very quickly. In the winter, I'm hoping with it insulated, little heater going, should be nice and snug. So there we go. That's going to be Budget Model Railway's new home. Instead of being scattered between Doug's room, the conservatory, the shed, the loft, the idea is to bring it all down into one place. Lots of sorting out to do. So that's all railway stuff. A lot of that needs sorting through. Some of it will have to go. It's 00. And then this bit of N there. And then that's a 20-year accumulation of tools and God knows what. So that's all got to be sorted through as well. But yeah, a week's work. I'm absolutely knackered. The arthritis in the hands is a bit of a pain. My thumbs are very painful. It means I can't grip stuff. So I end up using more effort. But there you go. It could be a lot worse. I've only got a little bit of arthritis, but it is a bit painful when I'm doing long jobs. So, interested to know what you think of it all. This will be the new home. So in future, anything that's done will be in here. We've got 2 layouts planned, as I discussed. 3, actually, because talking to you people has decided that I will do a little 00 that fits in down there. I've got enough 00 left to do that. So yeah, there we go. It's going to be a good little home, I think, for Budget Model Railways. I've got my desk so that I can get some modelling done. We got a massive building job coming up, having the whole back of the house knocked out. So this could become a little bit of a haven for a while. I'm off tomorrow, which will be today actually when I probably upload this. Anyway, on Sunday to see the show, the Wealden show at Stenning. If any of you are going there, I look forward to seeing you then. Look forward to your comments as always.